We've got a problem. Piers doesn't think we've got a problem. I don't really see it. Well, you wouldn't see it, would you, Piers?
Well,
you live in an exclusive elitist area. Your kids hang around in the most richest places ever. You've got chauffeur driven everywhere. You don't experience what we experience. But then you sit there telling us, oh, it's all right. Yeah, well, move them in your house. Hamas's spokesman said on October 8th, Israel's not our goal. London and New York are. Yeah. So when I hear commentators, and I know to Americans, you just don't get it. Come and speak to us. Come to Europe. Come and listen to us who live there, yeah? They're hostile. They hate us. They're aggressive. I'm hearing about a Muslim-Christian alliance. I think, yeah, tell that to the Christians. What's the Christian population of Syria now? What about Iraq? Every Christian population in every country in the Middle East has been destroyed. They've been driven out of every nation. Do you know the only place in the Middle East?
Except for one, but don't tell Tucker which one.
The only place in the Middle East where the Christian community has increased. It's in Israel. The only place. So when I see, and I look at, and Tucker Carlson come into my country is such a fucking insult. I was raging. He made a video, all these crimes happening against our people, and he come in, well, there's no problem in London. There's no problem in London. My Pakistani taxi driver was all right. Yeah. Oh, that's it then. Oh, there's no problem, Tucker. Islam's great. Let's ignore the terrorism. Let's ignore every jihad attack. Let's just pretend it's not happening because you had a nice Pakistani taxi driver. How dare you come into our country? How dare you use your platform to diminish the rape of our country? How dare you? When I go around the country meeting the victims, the families, all of them, and just because you have decided to take side with Qatar or side with Iran or side with whoever you side with, you think you can diminish what's happening in our nation when you know nothing about it. I'm still raging about it, thinking about it now. I think you come into our country and you sit there and you use a platform in our country to diminish and belittle a generation of our daughters. And again, just so an American audience can understand the scale of this problem, because this is why I'm insulted and I'm offended by when he done this. Say in Telford, I spent 18 months in Telford. I've done a 5-part series called The Rape of Britain. You can watch these documentaries at trfilms.co.uk. And I chose Telford because Telford has a 1.7% Muslim population. There's none there. Yeah? So I went there, and the police investigation identified 1,000 victims and 200 perpetrators. Yeah? 5 children are dead. They've been burned alive and murdered in this town alone. So 1,000 victims. Now, when you take the numbers, and you get rid of the under-16s, and you get rid of the women, there's 1,000 Muslim men in that town. Now, look what they've done in one town. Now, when you go to that town, have 1,000 Muslim men. I managed in my investigation, I sat down and I interviewed 12 to 18 survivors, yeah? And I interviewed them for 3 hours, 4 hours, 3 times, 4 times. And I built a database. And when the men were named by 3 or more girls that do not know each other, I go after them. And I go into their businesses, and I went into the businesses, some of them that murdered children, yeah? And I went into the business, and do you know, this isn't about sexual gratification. This is what you need to understand. In some of these cases, 11 cousins were raping kids together. Fathers and sons are raping kids together. Brothers and brother-in-laws. Imagine that. You're with your sister, her husband, and you go in and get a little kid and rape it. Well, we've never seen these crimes in the West. It's unthinkable. Not in their community. It's mainstream, and they're all accepting it. So when you see the scale of these problems, some girls had their tongues nailed to a table. Another girl was 11 years old. She had a hot iron rod with a letter M, and it was scalded onto her bum because she was the property of Mohammed. But don't worry, Tucker had a nice Pakistani taxi driver. So I just think, how dare you, man? And the rape that they've done is not about sexual gratification. It's about destruction. It's about taking the thing that we hold dearest, the thing that we love, our children, and ruining them. Absolutely destroying them. And whilst they're doing that, everyone's too scared to say anything because the left and their organisations and NGOs have created such an environment where you lose your job, or you're scared, or you get attacked, because if they put a target on you, they murder you like Charlie Kirk. So the media, they get rid of who they want by just calling them racist, Nazi extremists a million times, even if you're not a racist, Nazi extremist. And then they come for you. So I'm sorry I went on a rant there and I got a bit angry and I got a bit vexed, but I've watched my country be raped and pillaged. And then I see, and so this was a bit, I'm frustrated looking at some American commentators and listening to them just thinking, you've got no idea. Hamas, are you for real? Do you know what they do to you? I look at some of these gay people standing there, I think, you'll be off the rooftop, mate.
Right. Tucker said that Hamas are freedom fighters. He went to Saudi Arabia and said he feels comfortable in the seat of Islam where there are no churches. He wants to buy a house in Qatar where they keep Christians as slaves. We could do that all day long. Do not apologize, because for all the years I've been doing this, when a guest is locked in, I can literally feel it. Like I have a physical reaction to it, and I just had it right there. I want to throw, because as long as you're on a run, Piers Morgan, and you have gotten into it many, many times over the years, including when he sat in that very chair and I asked him about you. He had Gad sat on, and Gad has a fascinating story because his family is from Lebanon, had to leave.
They get it.
Parents were kidnapped by Palestinian terrorists. I think this is in the late 70s. This is from about a week ago. Gad and Piers discussing whether the UK has a problem with Islam.
But in terms of this whole debate, fueled a lot by people on the conservative right in America, that Britain has been invaded by radical Muslims. Megyn Kelly used that phrase last week with me. And we've lost control to radical Muslims. I just see no evidence that that is remotely true.
There are currently 56 countries that are part of the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Each of those countries, once upon a time, started with 0 Muslims. Then you close your eyes and you open your eyes, and in many of those countries, you have 0% non-Muslims.
I would argue back at that the vast majority of Muslims I know in the UK are very happy to be part of a multicultural Britain in which they assimilate quite happily with their neighbors of all types, of all creeds and races and religions and so on. I just don't see this hotbed of radicalism.
There's so much drivel with Piers, and I don't like talking bad about people that have been in this room, but I brought a lot of this up to him there. I mean, first off, that he says it's being fueled by the conservatives. He's got the fuel backwards. He's got the origin is backwards. The conservatives are reacting to their children being raped and terrorism. And go ahead.
Do you know the OIC? So they signed the Declaration of Human Rights, but they changed it. They didn't sign the same one as the non-Muslim countries, as long as it's in line with Sharia. Human rights aren't in line with Sharia, are they? Because the European Court of Human Rights ruled in 2007 that Sharia law is incompatible with Western democracy and freedom due to their views on homosexuals, their views on free speech, and their views on women. Now, what Piers talking about there, let me give you some statistics again, because numbers matter. Say, like, even Pew Research. Pew Research says that 99% of Afghanis in Afghanistan want Sharia law. So when we import them, which you've done and we've done, our leaders have done it, they've betrayed all of us. When we import them into America or into Britain, they don't leave that view on the border. They bring it with them. They want Sharia law. And then you have to understand what Sharia law is. I think 42% of French Muslims believe suicide bombings are justified, 35% of British Muslims, and 26% of American Muslims. Yeah? So we've got nearly 1 million Muslims in the UK, according to how they think, not how I think, how they think, that want Sharia law. That's 1 million that need to leave. That's 1 million. 67% of Muslims, 2/3 of British Muslims, would not report on another Muslim who was getting involved with ISIS. We've got a problem. Piers doesn't think we've got a problem. I don't really see it. Well, you wouldn't see it, would you, Piers? Well, you live in an exclusive elitist area. Your kids hang around in the most richest places ever. You've got chauffeur-driven everywhere. You don't experience what we experience. But then you sit there telling us, oh, it's all right. Yeah, well, move them in your house.
I mean, the truth is he likes to be flown on a private plane to go see soccer games in Saudi Arabia, right? I mean...
Well, the truth is, Piers doesn't... it's hard to know what he believes. He was pro-Black Lives Matter, then he was against Black Lives Matter. He's pro-vaccine, pro-lockdown. Yeah, telling everyone they had to get vaccines, they had to get locked down. This is where we talk about people with dirty hands. Probably why he don't like me. He was in charge of Daily Mirror newspaper where the whole time this rape scandal was going on. He knew it's happening. They all knew it's happening. Every one of them knew it's happening. But he's a coward. And then he wants to hammer us and attack us. So they're all cowards. And they don't actually care. And Israel, lots of people are battering Israel. I went to Israel and I spent time with some lone soldiers. And then I sat around the table with those lone soldiers. I realised where we've messed up so bad. Because these young men have left their families. So a lone soldier is someone who doesn't have family in Israel, but they're Jewish. So they're flown into the country on their own to go and fight. Because those young men realise there's something greater than them. It's bigger than them. It's bigger than their family. That is the survival of their state and their people. Now, us, we don't care. It's all about us as individuals. It's about me, my family, all right? I'm all right. I've made a few quid. I'll move out there. Well, it's coming for you. That's what we realise now in the UK. Well, you're going to get to the beach. Where are you going to go then? You can't run from this. You cannot run from this. And it's better to deal with it now before it's too late. There is no solution to Europe's problems without absolute chaos. Chaos is coming. Chaos has to happen. But we have to survive. It is not right that blacks become a minority in Nigeria. It's not right that the Japanese become a minority in Japan. Well, it's not right that we, English, become a minority in England. And we're not going to allow it. So all of these attempts to silence, stop, detract, beat us down and beat us into submission, it's not going to work. There is a revival happening. It's happening on the streets. It's happening with the United Kingdom movement. The British public are awake. It's about what I always said, if the people understood the danger our country faces, we'd have the revolution we need tomorrow. But it's about been reaching them, and they've stopped us reaching them. But then it stops Elon Musk. And these sorts of conversations, America, get ready, wake up, speak truth to power. Never let them do to you what they've done to us. And don't think you might lose your job. It's not about your job. It's about your country, your history. It's about everything.
If you have a 401k or an IRA, please listen. Gold is at record highs. What many people don't know is this. You can move part of your retirement money legally and without tax penalties into physical gold you actually own. Alpha Omega Gold helps you do this through a gold IRA. Your gold is real. It is stored safely. It is in your name. Learn more at ao.gold/stand. Alpha Omega Gold is our sponsor, and they proudly stand with Israel.